Let's start with the first one. Dear sisters, the craziest thing happens to me. I have been married to my husband for 15 years. Mind you, this man was my first love. Sisters, despite all the love we have shared as a young couple, we have grown to build a beautiful home. Our love started to drizzle off a year ago. Don't get me wrong. My man did everything he had to do as a husband in the house. He was respectful and kind, yet the spark between us died off. I had to resort to dating sites to balance my emotions. Through the swiping, liking, and poking, I came across a charming man who I immediately drew towards. We started spending hours on ending on chats, talking the night away and sharing our innermost wildness. I could literally get aroused from just talking to this new man. Honestly, I saw my husband also busy on the phone, but I could care less because I was also always carried away on my phone. The trick I used this entire time to seal my identity was to use photos of a random lady I follow online. The situation went on with the guy I was talking to, and we both decided to meet for the first time. You may think I was concerned about how he would react when he saw me in real life and realized I wasn't the lady in the picture I sent him. Sisters, I didn't even care because I just want to see this man and possibly make passionate love with him. The day I had to go meet my online boo was set, and luckily for me, my husband was out of town, so there was no explanation to be made. I wore a sexy outfit, got a makeup artist to beat my face, and got all dolled up for my first date. I got to the location mentioned, and I also mentioned my reservation and walked straight to the allocated table. To my surprise, my date had already arrived, but his back was facing me, so I didn't see his face till I got to the table. You won't believe what I saw. Sisters, here was my husband staring at me. What is Kweku doing here? Hey! I took a deep breath and sat down. He started talking and told me he's been the man behind the text this entire time. He also signed up to the dating app to find new connections because what we had died off. Sister, we followed through with the date, but I'm highly disappointed and don't know what to do. I need my online bae back.
First of all, why is she highly disappointed?
That's a good question. But if I have to answer, I think she probably might be highly disappointed because, you know, she said she could literally get aroused just from talking to him. And also he made her discover her her innermost wild parts. So that means probably the husband was not doing that with her.
Yeah, but my point is, why are you disappointed? You are out of your marriage, desecrating upon your marriage, right, all over the place with a supposedly new guy, and you are disappointed. She has no moral right to be disappointed. I don't think that should be the word. For a married woman, you should clearly understand that at this stage, this lady had gone past moral.
Yeah, she said she doesn't care.
Yeah. She's only worried and she only cares about her emotions.
Aye.
So that's all she's worried about right now. Forget about morals. If she cared about morals, first of all, she wouldn't be sexting with another man in her married home. Two, she wouldn't even plan. This lady didn't just get up to go and see a man. She even booked the makeup artist. I'm a makeup artist, so I know the process. Book, pay, get all dolled up.
She probably bought a new dress.
I'm sure she even shaved and all that. She went through all that.
So she was thinking sex.
Do you think if she had any moral ground, she wouldn't have pinched herself through this process?
Nah. This is shocking. I'm curious to ask.
About moral. It's all about her emotions. So please, let's help her with her emotions.
This is shocking.
I'm curious to ask. Let's not spoil the story, please. Let's stick to emotions. As for the morals, we wouldn't answer this.
If marriage become a scam, is it that difficult to stay with one person for that long? Because honestly, this is This is ridiculous. To start with.
Well, Olivia's married, so Olivia, let us know what happens, especially when it feels like it's getting stale. What do you do?
I always say, love, marriage is a decision. Love is a decision. You decide, the day that you say I do, you make that decision to love that person no matter what. And you need to be intentional about loving your partner. You need to be not just intentional, but you need to make it a doing word. Love must be a doing word in every marriage. The reason why I say this is because we lose. I've been together with Stefan for 17 years of marriage and over 23 years of friendship. We've been through it all. It's a whole life cycle where we got married, we couldn't keep our hands off each other, we were together, like lovey-dovey was at its peak. When children coming, children even decide when you guys are going to be intimate. But the reason why I say it's intentional is because he will text me. We sometimes text each other steamy text messages, and we delete it because we're like, hey, Master, you have to delete it. When I'm at work, like, you need to be intentional about every single thing. If you sit down there, your marriage will be stale. You will not be happy because it's a decision to be happy. It's a decision to make it work. It's a decision to ensure that you are not marrying anybody. You are not going to fall in love with anybody because in front of God and in front of men, you took a decision that no matter what it is, I have decided to choose you. I have decided to love you. So if you don't put in the work, don't expect to reap the results. Exactly. You need to put in the work. You need to be there. You need to, you see, when you always allow a third person into your marriage or your relationship, now allowing a third person is not always physical. You emotionally allow yourself to think, to begin to even appreciate another person besides your partner. You start comparing them. You start comparing what they look like, what they smell like, what they sound like, what they like. You start comparing, and immediately you lose focus. You need to be focused in the relationship in which you are in. Otherwise, it's a mess. Honestly, any Tom, Dick, and Harry can easily fall in love with anybody who is out there. But once you've decided, stick to it and make it work. Go back to basics. Say, what's your first love? My husband has been my first love to date. And I asked myself, I would never forget when we started growing up, because I'm coming from a family whereby my mom and dad were together, but they loved, my daddy did not like really fully love my mom till the last, like we went through the whole wahala. If you know, you know. But I will never forget, and he reminds me to date, when we started dating each other, I said, are we going to be happy in the next 20 years from today? He looked at me and he smiled, because we speak about it today because he puts it at the back of his mind, and he was like, I will do whatever it takes to ensure I'm not sitting here, I'm going to say we are perfect. No, far from it. Trials and tribulations come, but because at the end of the day, the marriage, the foundation is God. You always need to set the tone, and you cannot do it without the help of God. Honestly, the foundation of our marriage is God, and God actually puts the entire piece together. Without God, it's not by your strength or by your might. It's not easy to be in love with one person. Right. It's not easy to decide that you're going to be committed to one person, but you need to be intentional about it, and you need to work at it every single day. Every single day is an opportunity to forgive. Every single day is an opportunity to be exciting towards your partner. And the men and the women, it's like it's 50-50. Husbands, buy lingerie for your wives, take them out, go on steamy date nights together. Yeah. Do you understand what I mean? Cook for her, bring her breakfast in bed. The women also, when you have 2-3 children, don't leave yourself pacha, or bring it together. Men are visual beings. They love what they see. Try and put things together. It's not easy, but you need to be intentional.
Right. Felicia.
All right. I agree with Olivia, but I will take it from initiating the initial stages of the marriage, because I'm not married. So what you go into the marriage with, the mindset you go into the marriage with, and I'll talk about communication. I feel like people are currently getting married for the wrong reasons.
Sure. Yes.
It's crazy. It's insane. this past season, the Christmas season, I used to crack a joke that now all the guys like diaspora girls. Oh no, now that is a thing here. You would believe it or not, you accept it or not, you acknowledge it or not, but it is a thing now. All of them like the diaspora girls. Why? Because everybody is looking for an exit plan. We know married men who marry women they feel can stay at home and take care of the kids. A societal construct has been created of who a married woman should be. So we marry these women and keep them at home, and we kind of explore our fantasies outside of marriage. Do you get it? So I feel like those of us who are yet to marry need to be conscious about the people we decide to stay with. Me, I tell myself there's only 3 things I look out for. A stable man. When I talk about stability, I'm talking about financial stability, emotional stability, spiritual stability. 2, a man who respects and loves me. Love, yeah. I'm not talking about the butterfly love. The love that a man or human being will have for their child. A love that is empathic. A love that is kind. A love that is patient. If you have that, box ticked. 2, you should be attractive to me. I should feel attracted to you. It's not just the men feeling attracted to women. We women should also be attracted to the men we settle with. So that if the men are not putting in effort into the emotional, the intimate part of the relationship, because we have the spark, we keep it ignited, right? You should be able to wake up and say, good morning, sunshine. Because that is how you truly feel about him. Most of us are settling with good pockets. Rich family, kids from rich families, managers, directors, because of societal status. So it's time we break ourselves from the societal construct that has been created for who a husband should be like and who a wife should be like. If you can do with a club guy, sis, go for your club guy. Because that is what you know deep inwardly that you can live with. I like to go out. I like to chill. So I honestly don't see myself marrying a criff. I can't even be humble about it. I can't pretend. At least, I'm not saying I want a bad boy, but I can't be with a man who always wake up and say, oh, I can't, don't touch me in public. Don't smack my... It won't happen because me, I'll smack. So you can't be criff around me. It won't work. So let's identify what we look for so that at least when the love is drizzling away...
My husband is criff, but I smack his...
There are different types of criff. Well,
they're actually different levels to it.
Criff. So me, when I talk about criff, is the criff I mean, like the one we all know. Criff that will be like, so me, the one I know is the criff that will say, please, when we go into public, don't even smile. At the wedding, don't be dancing, shaking your boobs. I don't like people seeing. There are men like, I won't lie to you. There are men like that. I had a boyfriend who would tell me that, please don't go embarrass me in public. Because he knows I'm bubbly. Like me, when I go out, whether I like it or not, people will punch me. Someone will tap me and I will I will erupt. No matter how calm I try to be, someone will come and say, Felicia, and I'll be like, hey. That is me. But my boy will tell me, madam, don't go and embarrass me. Oh, when you go, please be quiet.
Why?
You can't take alcohol. Hey.
Wow.
I can't take alcohol. Why are you taking my happiness away from me? So sisters, back to the story. I feel what happened was, it could have been they settled for something that society has constructed for them. And now it got to a, because how long can you pretend for? I have a friend I told, Derek always tells me, Felicia, how long can we pretend for? After 10, 15 years, the pretense was zipped, it will cease. Now you are there looking for a man that will ignite your innermost wildness. Madam, why can't you be wild with your husband in the house? And ladies, please, let's tend to be creative. You know, stop covering those things. Leave it for our mothers. They are not doing that, so they won't tell you. Me, I've heard some married women telling me crazy things they've been doing in their room. And I look at them and so you know all this. They won't tell you because in our society we don't talk about certain things. So we are there feeling like, oh, my mom is in the room being an angel. Your mom is not being an angel in the room, my sister. She's being naughty, so be naughty in the room. Be crazy with your guy. And the men, don't be scared. If you like something, introduce it into the room. Like, have a conversation.
Talk about it.
Madam, please, this time I don't like kuntumumu. Let's be real. These are the problems we need to start talking about. We are not embracing who we are.
Yes.
We copy blindly. Yeah. We are there watching westernized things. The Christianity that was introduced to us, we've taken it too personal. We've taken it, we don't even understand the Bible we are reading. If you're being kind to someone, please, being kind to someone in the bedroom is part of kindness. Right. Being patient with your man in the bedroom is part of being patient. Patience is not just sitting there, no. You can be patient in the bedroom. You can be kind in the bedroom. You can be loving in the bedroom. You can be sweet. You can be benevolent in the bedroom.
Oh, yes.
So let's understand the Christianity well. Let's break ourselves from social control. And the last bit I'll touch is communication.
Yes.
Let's communicate how we feel. Let's communicate our expectation. Let's communicate how, like, when your body is doing you something, like Olivia said, text it, baby. Today my body is doing me. Tingle. Let's try something different. So that's the little I have to say.
No, but okay. I actually like what you said about, the whole societal construct and people not being able to be themselves because of what society is expecting them to be or what society expects of a perfect marriage. So at the end of the day, people get to marry who they don't even really want to be with just because I have to be comfortable. It's like there are some men out there, really, the men, they're like bad girls, bad girls, the bad ones, the girls that, but they're just going to go for one, marry Madeline, put her in the house, she'll give birth, she'll now change, she'll not just be there. They'll be looking at each other at some point. And I think that's what's happening in the marriage. At 15 years, they're just looking at each other, they don't know what to do. And he can't say it to her because
she also can't say it.
Exactly, because they're both not compatible, but they can't say it. Anyway, Sishu.
This is a very interesting topic, but both my sisters have said something that is really crucial to how you end up with someone or how you should end up with someone. So I'm going to just add bits and pieces to what they've said. If you don't love someone, truth is, no amount of talking, no amount of all this trying to be sweet and kind is going to work. I think it's high time we talk about the fact that marriage should be purely based on love. You love someone enough that you know that you want to, like our sister Olivia said, you know that 20 years down the line, I still want to love this person. I still want to put everything into this relationship. Another important thing is we as humans know ourselves. You don't know what somebody else is thinking for himself or for you for the next 10 years or 15 years. Somebody might say, I love you now, but I don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 years. But they can't tell you that because they want to be married to you now. And they don't know what's going to happen. So a lot of the times, it gets to a point where if that person had that notion, then what's going to happen is, after 10 years, he wants to get out of it. So he's not going to put in any effort into trying to fix things. So you are in this thing alone now. You want that long-term thing. But he's looking for something else. He's moved on from this. And that's the challenge I find sometimes. Sometimes the men, they marry, at that point he's in love. The point he's marrying you, he's in love. He feels, every box is taken for me. Let's go for it.
Wow.
But 10 years down the line, he's no more in love. And truth is, when a person is no more in love, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
And true.
Yes.
True.
And so no amount of, which is needed here, therapy is very important. If things are not working, it is important you go for therapy before you start looking outside, like what the lady has done in this case. You start talking to other people and all that. First, you talk to the person. Secondly, I think you should go for therapy. Thirdly, I think you should bring in an elderly person within both of your families to at least help sort out this problem. Because you see, another thing is we trivialize issues. It's a small issue. Oh, we've not spoken for a day. Or he's my husband. We'll sort it out. But then it builds up. I was watching a documentary that was talking about how sex is not enjoyed between older couples because of built up conflict. They don't talk about it. Oh, it's nothing. They don't talk about it. It goes on and on. After a year, you see that your love for the person is dwindled because he's done things that you are pissed about that you never really vocalized. And you're just there, and it's building up on that. So now one day he touches you and there's no feeling anymore. And I feel these are the things that happen in relationships, especially marriages, that make it fall apart. So if the person is not in love with you anymore, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. But you find that in this case, for example, because he thinks he's communicating with a totally different person, he's come with his A game again.
Again.
Yes. And this other lady thinks she's also communicating with a totally fresh man. So she's also coming to the table with her A game. And now finding out that it's the same person you were chatting with all the while, you'll be amazed they'll get back to the house and nothing fantastic is going to happen in the bedroom. Because it's the same old person you're dealing with. Because the root of the problem has not really been resolved. It's still lingering, and you've met the person, you know, it's the same damn person.
But I think interesting how they both manage to keep their excitement going. So it means that they both have something in common, but they both are not being mature.
They don't know it.
I don't want to rule out that they don't like each other, because in communicating, right, when you communicate with somebody and the person doesn't say the things you want to hear, you get ticked off.
Yes. But mind you, sometimes you don't like the person now, not because of anything they've done now. It's because of built up emotions that have happened over time, right? And so the communication, and mind you, they are both thinking they are talking to totally different people. So they are coming with the best versions of themselves. But once you meet the person that you are having issues with, it's subtle. Nobody has said there's a problem. Remember, she says the man is still acts like a gentleman. He's still doing his duties as a husband and all that. So there are things nobody has spoken about that has simmered in the background for a long time. Because people don't just, like you rightly said, people don't just fall out of love. It is gradual. It is the little unsaid things that have just built up in ways that you can't really explain. Sometimes even when you go to therapy, you can't explain what the person has done. I actually understand. The apology you ignore, the little tap on the shoulder, the little consideration you ignored, that call you didn't make, that I'm sorry you didn't say. It's a lot of things. So when these things,
I really understand you. And I want to add that, especially in our setting, it's so hard for men to speak. So maybe the woman always wants to talk. Maybe let's fix it. Maybe let's, oh, not now. Maybe not now. Maybe not now.
And are you okay?
You know,
something's going wrong in the office. He wants to act like a hard guy.
And I also took out something from what you said, and it's actually an experience that's happening to a friend of mine right now. I'm sure she wouldn't mind me sharing. Obviously, I'm not calling your name, but like you said, a man can be in love with you right now. So she got married, you know, very big wedding. It was a destination wedding out there. They flew people from Africa out to Europe. And after a year, this man comes, look into her face and say, 2 children, by the way. I don't think I can do this family thing. It's not for me. I'm in love with someone else. I know she doesn't love me because you're too nice, you're too kind. Like, this is not what I want. I want the wilder side of things. And I kid you not, they have signed the divorce papers.
After all that?
Yes.
So
he was open to even say it. He's white. He said it out straight. Like, I don't think I can do this.
So here's the thing. I think finding a solution. Finding a solution to this lady's problem and putting all the things we've all said together. What I think they should start doing is, they need to start identifying where the problem is.
Have open conversation.
They should have open conversation. They shouldn't rush it. I think one thing I've learned in life is don't rush problem solving. We like to rush problem solving. It's okay that we sweep it under the carpet. Let's take it step by step. And I think if they were able to spark things up, not knowing who they were speaking to, and were able to do all those online lovely-dovely things, they should start dating again.
Well, yes. For me,
they should. They should start
talking about their
problems and be intentional about dating. So let's go out tonight. Let's start doing the things we spoke about online and see where that takes us. I feel it will be a good start. It won't change overnight.
If it's matured.
Exactly. If it won't change the same thing he wants, it should start from what does he want? Is it tallying with what you want at this point in your life? Let me give you a very good example. And this is from personal experience. I was dating someone. We have a child. Yes, of course, when the child is coming, there's discussions about, should we go for this? He says yes. Sometimes the person is also saying yes because they don't want to offend you. A person is saying yes, let's go for it, let's get married, because they don't want to offend you, because they don't want to make you cry, because they love you now, but they are not sure of tomorrow. But they have to say yes now because otherwise you're going to leave, and they don't want you to leave. We don't think about all that. We don't even take things into prayers. When you're in love and it's getting to that point where, should I settle that? We don't. Look, I will tell you for free. I wasn't doing the prayer for all that. But you grow up and you get to a certain point in life, you realize it is very important. Every decision you make, you must take it to God, but we don't. And so now this person, after a child, 2 children, says to you, this, especially after, this is not what I want. What he wants is to have a life that he dreamt of. And the life that he dreamt of is not living in that state, both financially, emotionally, with kids, and he's not really found himself. What are you going to do? Exactly. You have kids now. Your main focus now is to fight for that relationship or marriage to work. But it's not going to work because the person is now, he's come to an awakening moment in his life that this is not the kind of life he planned for. But he condoned it while it lasted. Just to make you happy. Whether it was just to make you happy or the fear of him looking bad or whatever it is, you don't know. But the point is there are so many reasons, there are layers to humans. There's so many layers to humans. There's so many reasons why people do things. You know?
Because, I just to quickly buttress your point, you can never ever know anybody, but what makes a difference is God. Like I would always say, asking God for the spirit of discernment to be able to make the right decision when it comes to choosing the partner. And for me, I feel like for most men, they need, and love is difficult, but love your wife as Christ loved the church, because if it was that easy, God wouldn't ask them to love their wives like that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Olivia. Thank you so much, sisters. I think if I leave you, we are going to keep on having this conversation because I mean, it's really a broad one, and I hope that she's listening and watching.